Hey, David, how can I stop drowning in email? My email inbox is out of control. It feels like I spend all day on email and don't actually get my job done. WTF? Okay, so listen, there are endless strategies to deal with this. I'm not going to go through all the ones that we hear, but a common one that you hear is check email only at preset times. Check email at 9 a.m. and then 4 p.m. and then that's it. And then very often when people get that advice, they will say, but in my job, I'm not able to do that. Now, a lot of times the people who say, in my job, I'm not able to do that, they actually would be able to do it if they really thought through a way to generate expectations that you're not going to be on email all day. But this is a real problem. There are lots of jobs where 50, 60, 70% of the day is going to just keeping up with email rather than actually doing the value generation of the job. So let me concede to you, you are in one of those jobs where you can't just check email a couple times a day or something like that. I have successfully cut down my email time, I would estimate by 75 or 80% with a very simple three-step strategy, okay? The strategy is auto filtering, manual triaging, and then batch processing, okay? It sounds complicated. It's not complicated at all right? First, you start with auto filtering. I'll talk about for me, you apply this to yourself. I'm on a bunch of different newsletters that contain articles I might want to read or stories that might be good for the show. I've got wrap-up services of what happened on Fox News, all these different things, so I can pick things that I want to use for the show. Anything related to, we get all sorts of emails. I mean, thousands and thousands of emails every month about people's membership payments that came in, people's membership payments that failed, new subscriptions, cancellations, all that stuff. Everything I just listed gets auto-filtered into folders. All of my newsletter services are automatically filtered out of my inbox and into a folder. Everything that's membership related gets filtered into a separate folder. I never see that stuff in my inbox. That is 90% of my email right there. Great. I'm 9/10 of the way there. Then you've got to manually triage, okay? I go through email more often than some people, and maybe I don't need to, but we do have things that come up with the production of the show, tech issues, might have to be in touch with affiliates or sales issues where I need to get involved in figuring out whether an advertiser is a good fit for us or not or something like that. So I need to see if those urgent things come in, but those take under 30 seconds to respond to, okay? And what my goal is I never want to look at an email more than 2 times. I look at it the first time. Can I answer this email in under 30 seconds if it even needs a response? If the answer is yes, I do it. Some people say you do your 10-second responses. Everything else gets triaged. If the email takes more than 30 seconds for me to answer, I ask myself, does this have to be done today or does this have to be done this week? If it's longer than this week, I file it and put a note in my calendar to revisit it when it needs to be revisited. If it's an email that needs to be dealt with today, I move it to a folder called today. If it's something that needs to be done this week, I move it to a folder called this week. And then at the end of the day, I'll go to my today folder and one after the other deal with every email that had to be answered today. I am condensing the email answering periods of the day drastically. Anything that's under 30 seconds that really is of a more urgent nature, even though we could debate whether it's really that urgent or not, gets answered right away. And then I look at my auto-filtered stuff, membership emails, those newsletters, articles, stuff like that, once a day or every other day or whatever. This has cut down 75% on the time I spend on email. That's my suggestion. There are services that can also help with this stuff. There are some services that will gather similar types of emails and keep them out of your inbox until you want them delivered. You might say, deliver these at 4:30 p.m. and then you get them all at once, for example. I've not found the need to use those services, but I know people who have found them useful. That is my approach. Critique it, use whatever of it might be useful for you, reduce the amount of time you're spending on email because, listen, I want to be spending time researching stuff for the show, generating value, creating content. And when I cut down my email 75%, I'm drastically increasing the amount of time I can spend on just making the best possible show. We've got a great bonus show coming up for you today. Make sure to sign up at davidpakman.com/membership or at patreon.com/David Pakman Show. I'll speak to you then.